Hello everybody, Tony Dean. Welcome aboard. Stay where you're at. I want to promise you something. I'm going to promise you that over the next 8 to 10 minutes, you're going to see more pheasants than you've probably seen any time in your life. We're going to be hunting South Dakota, area in south central South Dakota near Armour. We're going to be hunting on Jim Monfort's South Dakota Pheasant Acres. Now what I can tell you about pheasant hunting in South Dakota is the population peaked 3 times. Once during the war years, once during the soil bank years, the 50s into the 60s, and there's been a real resurgence in bird numbers in the Dakotas and across the Midwest for that matter during recent years, the CRP years. In fact, the past 2 years, probably more pheasants in South Dakota where I live than I've ever seen in my lifetime, and I grew up in the Dakotas. I'm going to promise you something. Habitat means pheasants, and I've never seen a farm that has more quality habitat, nesting habitat, winter cover, a lot of wetland areas, everything you need to create lots of pheasants than you're going to see just ahead. Stay where you're at.
There's a place in South Dakota where the good old days of pheasant hunting are happening now, where the cover takes you back to the soil bank days.
There's the rooster. Good shot. I got him. Got him? Okay. Good shot, Tony. Oh, hung him in the tree.
Yes, here in South Dakota, on this farm, South Dakota Pheasant Acres, you can step back in time to pheasant hunting the way it once was.
Brent, I'm taking you here to South Dakota to enjoy pheasant hunting and experience pheasant hunting like it really should be. If you look out here, that's typical South Dakota habitat and countryside the way it's been for thousands of years. You look out there, you see all kinds of different grasses, even some brush, some small trees near the water edge, wetlands. This is the kind of habitat that upland birds and introduced pheasants in this particular case really need to survive. And you're going to see many, many pheasants in this particular place in South Dakota. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you excited?
Yes.
All right, well, let's get going. One other thing you ought to understand, Brent, is the reason this cover, this habitat is here is because Mr. Monfort charges hunters to come in and hunt here, and then he can afford to leave this land in this state.
Well, back in the days when we were farming, we did a lot of winter wheat, which leaves almost zero cover. And it's absolutely the opposite now. It's all cover. The only crop we raise now are small fields, the largest being 10 acres, most of them averaging 5 acres, and we almost exclusively plant grain, sorghum, or milo. Well, I think it's the grass cover and the shelter belts and, of course, the food plots. They have to eat. And then we have the natural potholes with the water and the rushes and the cattails. That's all important. Farming is a marginal thing nowadays and takes a lot of expense, and I'm not making that much doing this, but I sure have a satisfaction seeing people coming out and having some good old-fashioned hunting. I've had people here that quit hunting, and we've talked them into rejuvenating their hunting instincts, and it's refreshing to see that happen. I've had people here that have never hunted that are hooked. They come back years after year, you know, and we need that. We're not being advertised very well, those of us who like to hunt and like the outdoors, and it's wholesome and it's good, and I'd like to see that continue.
I had never even had a chance to shoot at a pheasant until yesterday. And of course, about the first 5-6 shots, of course, I shot holes in the sky, but after I kind of got the hang of it, this place not only got me my first one, but my second one, my third one, my fourth one, and so on. So it was just great.
We've been coming here to Pheasant Acres for the last 5 years. Come here once a year for about a week and shoot away.
Jim, you've spent your entire life in South Dakota. You've had an opportunity, you've lived through the peak pheasant periods in the state. What about what you see here on Jim's farm?
Oh, it's unreal. I go way back to the Warriors in the 50s and 60s when I thought pheasants were at its top, and I remember those days well. But today, this is something else. This brings back the memories when you can just go out and keep busting them, and that's what we did today. We just busted them.
Have you seen pheasants in recent years like you see?
Never, never. I've never seen anything like this since the old days. Everything is there. Everyone shot birds, and every place we went, there were more and more and more birds. It was fantastic.
Well, I think I equal anything we ever had, and maybe surpass it. I remember well the 40s when all the men were gone to war and there was a shortage of ammunition and an abundance of birds. Even then, it was nothing like this.
It's unbelievable with the number of pheasants that get up and fly, and sometimes you don't even want to shoot. You're just in awe of the number of pheasants that get up and fly, and it's great shooting. It's horrendous.
What was so unique is the first day I was here, we drove all day long and didn't see the same piece of ground twice. That was from tree lines to milo to corn to, it was just, everything was different. And every time we drove, we'd drive for maybe, it seemed like a 5-10 minute drive, and we'd be in a new section of land that had more birds than the last one.
These people have done so much work here. In just the 5 years I've been coming here, the difference between turning it from a farm into a pheasant habitat is night and day.
What's it mean to you to be able to walk out your door here and go out and walk into a piece of milo or CRP cover or what have you and flush all those birds? What's that mean to you?
Well, it just thrills me to death. I don't do that much shooting anymore because we're more concerned with serving our clients and hosting them, and so I do my hunting later in the year, but I never tire of it. I can go out there in 5 minutes and watch that, and it just amazes me to see that abundance of birds just exploding everywhere you go. You wouldn't think that the land could handle that many, but it does. You can't hurt it. You can hunt it, you can hunt it, you can hunt it, and if you give them a half a chance, they'll just keep surprising you.
Look at that one, Brad.
Man, that one's perfect.
I know, that's bigger than your last one.
A lot bigger.
All right. Now we're going to go up over here and we'll see if we can get another one.
Okay.
And
Rooster!
Rooster! Just a little far. Hey, buddy, come! Look at that up there, Tony. Look at all those birds.
The season's a lengthy one, beginning in mid-September, running through the end of March. Your daily limit is 4 birds, and to assure the best in habitat, the resident manager is a graduate wildlife biologist. At the end of the day, relax around the bar, or unwind in the comfortable and spacious main lodge. And during the football season, as a result of satellite television, you won't miss any of your favorite NFL action. Mealtime's a real treat, with a gourmet menu ranging from choice ribeye steaks to pheasant with all the trimmings. And after a day of rigorous hunting, let those aches disappear in the hot tub. Lodging accommodations are first rate, each room tastefully decorated in a South Dakota pheasant hunting motif. Jim Monfort bought a motel and moved it onto the farm, completely redecorating it, giving it a rustic Old West look. The main lodge has been remodeled to include an expanded lounge and game room. A spacious conference room makes South Dakota Pheasant Acres a perfect place for your fall or winter business meetings and conferences. But most of all, South Dakota Pheasant Acres is a place to hunt pheasants. Perhaps the best in the world. A special place where you turn the calendar back to the good old days of pheasant hunting. And a great place to introduce a youngster to the joys of hunting.
That's what I call a successful South Dakota pheasant hunt.
Yep, it's the
Look at
best
that.
one I've ever been on. Anywhere.
And you know what I liked?
What?
You got those 2 pheasants on 2 attempts, son. That's for 2. You want to come back and do it again?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to.